Have you been wondering if it's the right time to buy, how much you really need down, or what escrow even is? I'm breaking down the top 12 questions home buyers Googled in 2025, and I'm giving it to you straight the South Carolina way. Hey y'all, I'm Ashton Mitchell, your home loan girl, mom of five, VA and first time buyer specialist, and your mortgage BFF here in South Carolina. I'm here to simplify the home loan world and help you build wealth through real estate without the overwhelm. Like, subscribe, and drop your biggest question below so I can tackle it in the next video. So, is now a good time to buy a house? This is the number one question that home buyers Google. The second biggest question that homebuyers Googled is, do I need 20% down? Nope. The only real reason to put down 20% is to avoid PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. But let me put PMI into perspective. On VA loans with $0 down, there's no PMI at all. On FHA loans with only 3.5% down, PMI is just 0.55% of the loan. On a $250,000 house, that's only about $115 a month. Would you rather spend $1,380 a year on PMI or lose out on $15,000 plus in appreciation by waiting to save up a big down payment? Waiting can really cost you more. Let's get in and build wealth now. The earlier you can jump into the real estate market, the better long term. What credit score do I need to buy a home? Well, the minimum typically is around 580. But a tip for you, 620 to 640 opens up way more options. If you're under 640, you may be able to qualify through manual underwriting. That means a human, not a computer, reviews your file. But you've got to have compensating factors like 12 months of on-time rent, no late payments in the last 12 months, 3 months of mortgage payments saved in the bank above and beyond what your down payment and closing costs are going to cost. If that's you, don't count yourself out. Let's be strategic. Just because you're below a 620 or a 640 doesn't mean you're out of the game for good. But if you are between a 620 or a 640 and above, it's going to open up more options for first-time buyer programs and lower rates for your specific program. The fourth most Googled question, what are closing costs and how much are they? Well, buyer closing costs include lender fees, your attorney and title work, appraisals, escrow, which is your taxes and insurance, your prepaids, taxes and insurance, HOA if that's applicable, inspections if applicable. There's lots of things that go into closing costs. For a $295,000 home, closing costs will typically range anywhere between $6,000 and $12,000, depending on the loan and location. Sellers typically will pay the realtor's commissions, transfer taxes, and deed prep fees. But sometimes you can have all of your closing costs negotiated to have the seller news. Sometimes it doesn't have to be every dollar, but if they contribute any little bit, that's going to offset what the buyer has to bring to closing. This is a huge win, especially if you're down to dollars and only have your down payment. Should I buy or rent in 2025? Well, buying isn't right for everyone. Renting may make sense if you're moving again very soon, you're rebuilding your credit, or you just want flexibility and you don't want to commit to the maintenance of owning a home. But if you're planning to stay put for a while and you can qualify, buying builds equity and stability, which means you're contributing to your long-term wealth, and it's a wise decision to make if it makes sense for you. You're paying a mortgage either way, yours or your landlord's. So get with me and let's make the best decision for you. How long does it take to buy a house? Typically in South Carolina, closings take between 30 and 45 days from contract to close. But here's the deal. Don't wait until you're ready to move to get pre-approved. You want to start the pre-approval process at least 3 to 4 months in advance so we can work on credit, budget, and goals if there's any obstacles in your way. Or if there's no obstacles, that just makes you prepped earlier. So as soon as that perfect house comes on the market, you can jump on it and close on your new home. I make the process easy peasy, and I would love to help walk you through it. What is escrow? Escrow is your home savings bucket for taxes and insurance. Each month, part of your payment goes into an escrow to pay these fees on your behalf. For example, your escrow prepaids are part of closing costs. Some shady online lenders are going to quote you super low closing costs, and then at the end you find out they didn't tell you about prepaids, which is going to be thousands more than what you estimated needed for closing. That's why working with a local transparent lender is super important, because I'm going to quote you the full picture, be super transparent, and make sure you're prepared for the absolute worst case scenario And 9 times out of 10, my clients come to closing with less than we anticipated from the start. The 8th most Googled question, what loan is best for me? Well, in this situation, you should really leave that to the pro. I'm going to ask you about your ideal monthly payment, how much you want to put down, if you have debt you want to consolidate, and many more questions about your personal life and finances to make sure this is the perfect fit for you. There's really no one size fits all. I offer over 30 loan types, will match you with the one that works best for your life, and make sure it meets your long-term financial goals. Can I buy a home while self-employed? Yes, absolutely. But you're going to need 2 years of tax returns and steady income. We may also need a CPA letter depending on the situation. I help entrepreneurs all the time. I've helped Uber drivers, hairstylists, bartenders, YouTubers, salon owners. If you've got self-employed income, I've got options for you. But here's a pro tip. If you're a self-employed business owner and you're filing your taxes on your personal Schedule C return, line 31 is the baseline that lenders look at for your income. So for example, if you're writing off everything on your taxes, let's say your income was $100,000, but after all your write-offs, line 31 is only $24,000, that means I can only count $2,000 a month in income. That's not going to be enough to get you approved for a home. So if you want me to take a look at your personal taxes to make sure you're claiming enough income for approval, I'd be happy to do that. The 10th most Googled question by home buyers in 2025, how much house can I afford? Well, we're going to figure that out together. A good rule is 30 to 35% of your gross, which is your pre-tax income, of monthly income goes towards housing. But we go deeper. We're going to take into account your debts, your income, and your personal comfort zone and your lifestyle. Just because you can afford a $400,000 house or a $600,000 house doesn't mean you should. We're going to get real about what fits your life so that you're not house poor and you can actually still enjoy your home and your lifestyle. Should you get pre-approved before house hunting? 11th most popular question on Google. Absolutely 1,000,000%. I'm seeing way too many buyers fall in love with a home only to find out they weren't ready to make an offer, and then someone else snatched that dream house up. A pre-approval makes you a serious buyer, and it lets your agent act fast so that you don't lose out on that dream home. And the 12th most popular question on Google, can I buy with student loan debt? Absolutely yes. In fact, the majority of my buyers have it. But you do need to know this. Even if your loans are in deferment, most programs require the lender to count 0.5% of your total balance as a monthly payment in your debt to income. So if you owe $40,000, we'll have to count $200 a month against your qualifying power in your debt to income ratio. But don't stress. I'll walk you through exactly how it impacts your approval and how to make it work. We can also strategize if maybe you're on an income-based repayment plan, if we can get away with that 0.5% rule and still get you qualified. There's always strategies that we can look at together. The biggest thing I want you to take away is you don't need to figure this out alone. Call or text me at 843-998-5045. You can apply on my website at homeloangirl.com. You can send me an email at amitchell@pnlending.com. And let's take the next step forward towards your homeownership together, because you can do this. And I'm here to help you every step of the way.